Hallo Leute, ich bin Katja und ihr seht Deutsch für euch. Today you will learn how to talk about your family. So since I can't think of anything funny to say before we start, let's just start right away. Die Familie. The family. Die Familie. The individual members of a family are called Familienmitglieder, which means exactly that, family members. Familienmitglieder. Or, the single form, das Familienmitglied. Die Verwandten. The relatives. Die Verwandten. The article of the single form of this is actually dependent on the gender of the person that you're referring to. So when you're talking about a female relative, you will actually say die Verwandte. And when you're talking about a male relative, you will say der Verwandte. Die Mutter. The mother. Die Mutter. Most commonly, kids will call their mother Mama. There are two other ways of calling your mother: mom, mommy, whatever. Mami and Mutti. Mami, Mutti. The latter is very rarely used nowadays. I don't want to say it's not used at all anymore, but it's kind of old. You won't, like most kids nowadays, won't use it. Der Vater. The father. Der Vater. To go with Mama, most children call their father Papa. Again, the emphasis is on the first A. And then we also have Papi and Vati. Again, the last one is used very rarely. Papi, Vati. And then, thanks to globalization, a lot of kids call their parents mom and dad, here as well. But that's English, of course. The two of them together make for the term die Eltern, the parents. Die Eltern. Die Schwester. Like in English, the term is only used to signify your relationship to your sister, not to address her. So you don't say, sister, could you come here, please? You just say, this is my sister, for example. Das ist meine Schwester. There is the term Schwesterherz, which you could use to address somebody. It literally means sister's heart and says sister dearest. But it's normally used very ironically or, not completely seriously. So you don't actually use that as a name for your sister. Der Bruder. The brother. Der Bruder. Same rules as for Schwester. We also have the term Bruderherz, which is, used in the same way as Schwesterherz. Talking about both your sisters and brothers as siblings would leave you with die Geschwister. And if you wanted to talk about one sibling at once, you would say das Geschwister. Das Geschwister. Die Tochter. The daughter. Die Tochter. Not much to say here, just that once again people don't use this to address their daughter, but just to talk about her. Der Sohn. The son. Der Sohn. Die Tante. The aunt. Die Tante. Another parallel to English, this is used as the term to refer to the person, but can also be used to address them, although it is then normally combined with their name. So you don't just say, Aunt, come here, please, but Aunt so-and-so. So, I don't know, Aunt Katja. Der Onkel. The uncle. Der Onkel. Same as with Tante, no big surprises here. Die Cousine. The female cousin. Die Cousine. Yes, we do make a difference between female and male cousins, isn't that nice? Also, even though it is a French word and we still spell it like one, we do not pronounce it the exact same way. We do pronounce the final E. So we don't say cousine, but we say cousine. And this is another descriptive only term. You wouldn't say Cousine Katja. You just say Katja. The original Old German term for Cousine is die Base, although that's very old and nobody really uses it anymore, and I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if most kids nowadays didn't even, know the word anymore. I personally already only learned it from old children's books. Der Cousin, the male cousin. Der Cousin. Funnily enough, in this case, the French pronunciation is still considered the correct one in German too. But since the nasals don't really fit well in a German word stream and pronunciation really is all about feeling comfortable, many people, or let's say people that are not particularly proud of their immaculate pronunciation or whatever, will go with saying cousin. So kind of making the into an eng, which is easier for us, just out of, because German. The emphasis can be put on both the first and the second syllable, although the right, or let's say righter way to do it is putting it on the second, because that is the one that is closer to French. But depending on the region you're from, you could say cousin or cousin, which is what the people in my region do. The original German term for this was der Vetter, but again, it's rarely to never used anymore. Die Nichte, the niece. Die Nichte. Once again, only the descriptive term, not something you address your niece with. Der Neffe, the nephew. Der Neffe. Same as with Nichte, nothing special. Die Großmutter, the grandmother. Die Großmutter. Literally, which you've probably already figured out because you know the adjective groß, this means great or big mother. Like in English, kids normally refer to and address their grandmother as Oma or Omi. There are many families in which, if you have both grandmas alive, you will refer to one of them as Oma and the other one as Omi. The latter is the cuter version. A less common one is Großmama. It's kind of old, which you can also see from the fact that it is pronounced with the emphasis on the second A, Großmama. So, this is again from a few decades ago. Der Großvater, the grandfather. Der Großvater. Same thing as with Großmutter, means great father. We have the common cutified version Opa, which is what kids used to address their grandfather with as well. And then we have the even cuter version Opi. And then less commonly there is Großpapa. And then also, of course, just Großvater. Der Enkel. There is the female version die Enkelin, which is again that femalization German has with just adding an in. But you can use Enkel to referring both to a male and female grandchild. Although, do watch out, it's then not die Enkel, but it is der Enkel no matter the gender. If you want to, emphasize the gender, you could either say der Enkel, die Enkelin, or you could go with der Enkelsohn and die Enkeltochter. If you want to talk about your in-laws, you just add a Schwieger in front of whatever term you need. So for example, you would have Schwiegermutter, Schwiegervater, Schwiegersohn, Schwiegertochter, and whatever other combination you might need. For saying somebody is your step something, you add a Stief in front of your word. So you would get Stiefmutter, Stiefvater, and so on and so forth. Okay, I think that was plenty for today. Try building little sentences like, I don't know, my brother and my sister are playing in the garden. If you want, you can even type them in the comments and I'll correct them or not correct them and just tell you that you did a super job. Your random word of the week is der Edelstein, which literally translates to a noble stone. Alright, and that's it for today. Bis nächste Woche. Tschüss!